So when are you two going to get screen time?
I know, right?
Talk with each other, right?
Yeah. Oh, screen time together.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say shit. We did a whole episode just around either one of us.
You're gonna see us. We did not interact all season until in the finale. We'll see a quick biting exchange. It's quick. I can't say it right now.
Oh, okay. Because I remember when you were getting on the plane, I'm like, oh hell no, or whatever the hell that was.
Right.
But we never actually.
But yeah, he talks about me a lot, but he doesn't talk to me much. Right. And
what was the word that you used for him? Bubblehead.
Bubblehead.
Bubblehead. Yeah. Bubbleheaded bastard. I think I call him.
I think you're very descriptive. And I get to call him John Pope. Yeah. So yeah.
Hey, bubbleheaded bastard.
Right. It seems like more and more people are kind of coming around to the Pope philosophy within the show. That, you know, okay, he's a bastard, okay, we know he's not a good guy, but the points that your character is making more and more are logically sound, it seems like.
Well, it's neat when you get the guy who's basically the bad guy or the dirt bag, and the audience is like, yeah, what he said.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of cool. But I think that's been the way from the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's neat to see the reality start to go towards, somebody should really not just listen to what this guy's saying, but do what he's saying. So, and him and Weaver are starting to partner up a little bit in terms of their minds. So it's nice to see.
Yeah. But is that going to lull us into this like sense of, oh, he's a good guy again? I mean, do you ever worry about your character moving too far into the light that you lose the darkness?
No, I think the writers are always one step ahead of wherever I think I'd be, and I think if things started to get really, really good because of all the goodness that Pope's doing, he's going to find a way to use that for his own selfish gain anyway. So he'll be it wouldn't last very long before he starts taking over or whatever the hell he's got to do. So, but yeah, no, it's a good point. Don't want him to become too good. If he does, it loses its edge and it becomes boring. I think.
Yeah.
You and Weaver get a lot more screen time in this last half of season 3. Tell us a little bit about that. You're polar opposites of each other, but you find that your ultimate goals are aligned this season.
Yeah, I think Pope's always never liked Weaver, but respected him. It's like I get it because the hierarchy. I think that's one thing Pope does understand is hierarchy. And I mean, I think all these last episode we're telling each other to watch your back. Yeah, you watch your back too. So there is something interesting going on. I think Weaver's starting to have doubts about who's in charge and stuff like that. And Pope's always had those doubts, and I don't trust anybody else. You know, you really think this and you really think that, and those little cracks are starting to appear in Weaver now. He's starting to wonder himself, well, what's going on? So I think they're watching each other's back now, which is a nice change for the story.
You know, Cochise is a smart guy and is very diplomatic, and yet we've never seen him walk into Pope's bar and like mingle amongst the people, which would probably go a long way to, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, so why
that would be. Boy, talk about a phonograph record.
Yeah.
Here comes Cochise.
Yeah, that would be a good scene. I mean,
whiskey, please.
Yeah, take back a few brews and mingle with the gang.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, can we see anything like that as far as your character interacting more with the wider, you know, cast?
Because I'm a leader and I basically deal with the leaders on leadership issues. That's where you see me mostly. You'll continue to see that, really. I like what you're going for into introducing some humanity to this character, or what we like to call Volmanity. Thank you. Volmanity. Yeah. And when episode 9 comes along this season, you're going to see a little bit of an emotional thing happen for Cochise. He's not an emotionally charged being. We're not an emotionally charged race.
Yeah.
So Cochise go Vol.
Right. Yeah. And I don't think that relaxation and kicking back brews with the boys in the bar is something that my culture has ever done. We're workers, we're doers, and especially now what we've become, as you've seen my story unfold, is that I was born on a ship in battle, chasing the Ishveni around the universe. So that's all my generation has ever known. So that doesn't bring back a whole lot of bars with it.
You'll see Cochise with like a gambler's vest and a hat, dealing cards there.
Yeah. If you had anything to say about it, yes, you would. But at episode 9, you're going to see him gain some Volmanity, and he's so intelligent, and he brings technology, and he's here to help, and so there is a superiority about him, even though he's very generous about that. And gracious about it, but in this episode, in episode 9, he's going to fall to the lowest he's ever been, probably, and you'll get to see how he fights back, and what inspires him to do that. And that would be the people that he's been interacting with, and actually learning from them. I think learning from the humans is something he did not expect to happen.
Does that include anger?
That would be interesting. Not yet, but could it live in him? Yes, it could. How am I being for coy?
You're doing coy well, yeah.
So how much background information did you know ahead of time about the Volm or about your character's own history? And how much did you...
Very little.
Very little,
yeah.
Did you have any say in what they came up with eventually as you went through?
Again, having say as an actor on a television show, it's a writer's medium. They do what they do, and they're good at it. So I'll let them be good at what they do, and they'll let me do what I do. That really is a good relationship. But no, I didn't really come in with it knowing much. It was so fast. At the beginning of season 3, they gave me a couple weeks notice. But they had been talking about what happens with this character because he was introduced at the end of season 2 as a CG created character. So I wasn't around then.
Right.
And then so the show gets picked up and renewed, and now I guess we got to get a guy in there. So I was brought in pretty quickly and without much backstory. It was really more about what's he going to look like. That was their bigger concern.
I remember that. I was like, what's he going to look like?
Right.
Is he going to speak? And if so, what's he going to sound like? And however he sounds, he's going to speak a little bit? Is he going to speak a lot? Is he going to speak a different language? Is he going to speak English? Is he going to be translated? Are we going to have a little pocket translator? Blah, 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 blah. And it comes, how the hell is this guy going to communicate? There was a lot of talk.
And so it's kind of a combo platter of all that right now, because you notice in the after effects of my voice, it is my voice. I can hear myself in there, but they've tweaked my voice downward to make it lower, and they've added a little bit of an echo effect to it. So it is. Think of it as that collar that I wear with the blue lights on it. You just feel that the sound might be coming from that, because it might be a translator that does it all for me, because we have technology that could do all that. Of course, we're Volm after all. So yeah.
Pope's necklace with the skitter talons on it early on established him as a badass that also took some pleasure and he enjoys killing skitters. But we haven't seen any additions to it, have we?
It's funny, you just made me think that I'm wearing the Pope necklace.
Yeah.
And I took this, borrowed it, Michael Wright, TNT over there. I borrowed this first season on Falling Skies, and I thought the show is a really good shot. With any show, it's not going to come back.
Yeah.
So I kind of took this as a good luck charm, and it hasn't left my neck since.
Yeah.
If you're ever watching some of the other shows I do, it's still on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, CSI Miami's in. So just look. So anyway, forgive me. I know that wasn't a question, but I'm still wearing the damn Pope necklace.
If the warrior has tokens,
those little mandibles.
Yeah, the mandibles. Yeah. So if the warrior is not still collecting his tokens, is he still a warrior? I mean, don't you have to step it up and add something, or add
I agree,
a piece of Volm on him?
I think that's a good question for season 4. It's like, is he still going to be wearing the skitter necklace, or is he going to hang it up and work at the bar now full time, or are we going to start adding some stuff to it? But it's funny, when I first got it, I thought, wouldn't this smell?
Yeah.
Decaying little mandible things, But anyway, it's cool.
Hopefully, I'd be okay with a Pope in the bar the whole time spinoff. Your Cheers, like Falling Skies Cheers,
Who's your norm?
Yeah.
You walk in, Cochise!
I'll be the norm.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah. A fan sent me a photo of his kid, and his kid had one, and I thought,
yeah.
Pope is, he is a bad guy, but he's also very likable. He's my favorite character. I adore him, and you do so well. And you and Noah had that great scene where you got in the fight, and you had discussed, about how you ended up in jail, because we knew that he had been in prison. We just didn't know really why. Are we gonna kind of see any more peeling of the layers of why he is the way
wouldn't,
he
to
is?
tell you the truth, I wouldn't think so. I think the writers have been smart to hold back until then, and I doubt there'll be anything more for a little while. You know, just little bits, little
pieces
shavings.
of why
Yeah,
he is, you know.
it's kind of neat. We've had to go almost 3 years before we got any backstory on him, which I think is kind of neat.
Right.
Instead of in the beginning, let's just tell everybody's story and all this exposition and crap. Instead, it's like, no, we're all going to begin and go, and then we'll just find out whatever.
And we see little pieces of, you know, his humanity and who he is, you know, with the kids and, you know.
Well, it's been interesting because for a lot of our characters, we've had to create backstory because the writers haven't been there to write it.
Right.
So now, like in that particular episode, I'm like, oh, okay, that's not what I had in my head. I had something else because I had to make it up, and now I've got to say this. Okay, then that's what that'll do.
All right, thank you.
Hey, appreciate it.